these two dialogues, hotel misunderstanding and Delhi misunderstanding, clearly illustrate how important it is to pronounce sounds properly. In this particular case, the participants have problems with the fleece and the kit. We know that the fleece, E is long, it's tense, and so that when we say it's long and tense, that's given by the tenseness of the tongue, and this is the quantity of the vowel. And when we analyze its quality, we have to pay attention to the position of the tongue. When we say E, the tongue is very high, close to the hard palate, and the lips assume a special position. So when we analyze the shape of the lips and the position of the tongue, that gives us the quality of the sound. So the fleece has a particular quality and quantity. As for quantity, it's long because it's tense. And what happens to the kit? The kit has its own quality and quantity as well. So for the kit, the tongue goes up to a position which is lower than the fleece, and the lips assume a different position, so the quality is different because the position of the tongue and the lips are different. And as for quantity, the tongue is not tense, it's lax, so it's a short vowel. So these two vowels are different in quality and quantity. What happens if we don't pronounce them properly? Well, we can get into trouble. In the first dialogue, this man needs a sheet on his bed. A sheet on his bed. But this man can't pronounce the fleece properly. Instead of producing the fleece, he produces the kit. So the man complains. He goes to the reception desk and he complains. And he says, "Excuse me, I need a on my bed." And the receptionist, of course, reacts. "What did she say?" And the man repeats, "There's no on my bed." "Well, that's good, isn't it?" the receptionist explains. "No, it's bad. It's just a bed with no Oh, the receptionist clearly realizes what the man means. "Oh, sheets, you mean sheets." And A says, "Yes, no, sheets, yes, right, I'll get you some sheets." Is that everything? Well, and Delhi misunderstanding. Would you like a cake to take away? "No, I'll just take a here, if you don't mind." Instead of saying piece with a fleece, the lady pronounces the kit. "Sorry, what was that?" "I just want a if that's okay." "Sorry, we don't have toilets here." "No, I'd like a of cake to eat in." "Oh, a piece. You mean a piece?" "Yes, no, a piece." "Yes, okay, a piece of cake. Would you like a coffee with that?" So this is lots of fun, but it's just to become aware of how important it is to pronounce vowels correctly. Let's have a look at this image. This picture is a magnetic resonance image taken from this clickable chart designed by the University of Glasgow. You'll find this website in the platform under Interesting Phonetics websites. This is the fleece. Let's have a look at this. Here you can see the tongue occupying most of the oral cavity. Why is the tongue occupying most of the oral cavity? Because the front of the tongue, this is the front of the tongue, has gone up to this position. So imagine the tongue, when the tongue is at rest, it's here. So it has gone up to this position. The front of the tongue goes very high, here, very close to the hard palate, So this is the FLEECE. The front of the tongue goes very high to this position. So we say it's a high vowel or a close vowel because it's articulated in the close position because it's very, very near the hard palate. Now, we have to imagine that when the FLEECE is produced, the soft palate, so we can't see this very clearly, but the soft palate is raised. So the air cannot get into the nose. The air resonates in the mouth. That's why vowels are oral, because the air resonates in the mouth. And the vocal cords are vibrating. We can't see the vocal cords, but we have to imagine that they are vibrating. And the tip of the tongue is there, very low. The tip and blade of the tongue are not involved in the production of vowels. So, we say, if we analyze how distant the tongue is from the palate, we say that it's very near. So it's in the closed position. If we analyze what part of the tongue has gone up, we say it's the front of the tongue which has gone up. So it's a front vowel. So it's close, front, and the lips. The lips assume a certain position for this. They are spread. E, E, E. They are spread. So the position, the shape of the lips, the vertical distance between the tongue and the palate, the height, we call that height of the tongue. And the part of the tongue raised will give us the quality of the FLEECE. And then the tenseness of the tongue, E, E, will give us the quantity. So the FLEECE is a long vowel, and the tongue is tense in order to make it long. For the vowel to be long, we need to make the tongue tense. So we have to imagine the quadrilateral here. The quadrilateral. This probably you find this very difficult at first, but don't panic. It's until you get used to this space, to this quadrilateral, and you become aware of the movements of the tongue and the shape of the lips. So we have to imagine the quadrilateral here. So, and the tongue goes up. In this case, for the FLEECE, it goes up. The front of the tongue goes up. And the lips are spread. So as for quality, the FLEECE is a high or close front vowel and it's spread. And as for quantity, because it has to do with laxing or tensing the tongue, it's long. It's long because the tongue is tense. Right. And while we produce the FLEECE, the soft palate is raised, blocking the entrance to the nose, and our vocal cords are vibrating. So, this is the quadrilateral I was making reference to. It's an imaginary space. So the FLEECE is up there. You see what you just saw in this resonance image. So, phonetically speaking, remember phonetics deals with how sounds are produced, transmitted, and perceived. If we analyze the phonetic features of the FLEECE, and we analyze the height of the tongue, the height of the tongue, the distance between the tongue, the surface of the tongue, and the palate, if the FLEECE is articulated there, it's not very distant from the palate. So it's slightly below and behind the closed front position. So this would be closed position. This is the closed position. Closed position. Which part of the tongue is raised? the front of the tongue. That's why we say it's the FLEECE's front. If we analyze the shape of the lips are spread with the corners of the lips moved away from each other, as when you are smiling. E, E. It's not rounded. It's not U. It's E, E. Okay. So we say it's a close or high vowel. It's front and it's spread. And as for quantity, it's long and tense. Long, E and tense, because the tongue is tense. So it's a close, front, spread, and rounded vowel. And it's long and tense. Now, what we just explained referred to phonetic features. Now, what happens when we have to describe vowels from the phonological point of view? We said that phonology is particular because it studies how sounds function in a particular language. Well, phonologically speaking, the FLEECE is a strong vowel because it typically occurs in stressed syllables. And it occurs in all positions. It occurs in initial position, medial position, and final position. And it can occur in closed syllables or open syllables. What do we mean by a closed syllable? A closed syllable is one which has a coda, that is to say, one or more consonants after the vowel. For example, if I say seed, seed, after the vowel, I have a consonant. So that syllable is closed by the consonant, which is the last element. So in this case, it occurs in medial position, because the last sound would be d. So this is a closed syllable. But if I say see, the vowel is in final position. There's no consonant after it. So we say that it occurs in open syllables as well. So, to sum up, the FLEECE occurs in all positions. In initial, medial, and final position. So it means that it can occur in closed syllables or open syllables. Open syllables, remember, are those syllables which are not closed by any consonant. The last element is a vowel. So the FLEECE can occur finally in a word. So because it can occur in all positions, we say it doesn't have restricted occurrence. Careful with this pronunciation. Restricted occurrence, because it occurs in all positions. And we have to go back to the alphabet we studied at the beginning of the course. Initially in a word, eat, east, even, eel, is, medially, cheese, complete, leave, peace, receive, people. Finally, tree, see, be, key. Good. So, to analyze phonological features, we have to pay attention to the distribution in the syllable. How the FLEECE functions in the syllable in English. So, when we describe a vowel from the phonological point of view, we analyze the distribution, that is to say, its occurrence in the syllable and in the word. And also we have to study the allophones, the variants that this sound has. So that's what we call allophonic variants, and we'll discuss this in the next video.